Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be talking about my on-page SEO checklist. I recently done one of these for off-page SEO, so it just made sense to do one for on-page SEO. Now, a few things about this video. It's not going to be a beginner's video. There are going to be a lot of advanced strategies. So for example, I'm going to assume that you guys already know the bare bone basics, like for example, having your keyword in the title tag, having it in the H1, having it in the first line of your sentence, right? So for example, this article here, it wants to rank for best online casinos. As you can see, it's got it in the H1, it has it in the page title, it also has it in the first starting sentence in the actual article, right? So I'm going to be assuming that you guys know a lot of the basic stuff, but for each individual checkpoint, I'm going to essentially give you guys some examples. So even if you don't know that much, hopefully by the end of this video, you will know a lot of the more advanced strategies, right? So let's get into it. So in-depth topic coverage with semantic SEO. Now, this means two things. This means, first of all, how good is this article? What a lot of people do is they essentially do what's called copycat SEO, right? So they will look at what is ranking in positions 1, 2, and 3, and they'll copy them. They won't think, how can I make my article better than them, right? You always want to have the best article that you possibly can. So if it's, for example, a statistical page, where are you sourcing the statistics from? Can you add more statistics to it? Is, for example, position 1, have they got 2023 statistics, right? So if you can essentially add more, that's essentially what's called information gain. The in-depth topic, so that's essentially how many articles are you talking about a certain subject on your website. For example, would somebody need to leave your website if they wanted to know about where to run? Yes, you might be selling the best running shoes, but also pointing your customers to the best places to run with your running shoes. You've got essentially topical coverage. There's a few other bullet points that we will essentially refer back to this, but this is definitely the most important one, or one of the most important ones, right? So then we have got, if we scroll down here, checklist number 2, we have got NLP Optimization. Now, the best way that I can explain what NLP Optimization is, actually, do you know what? I'm going to Google it. What is NLP Optimized? What is NLP Optimization content, right? NLP optimization is the process of tailoring your content so that it's clearer and more understandable for search engines like Google that use natural language processing, NLP, to interpret and analyze content. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that when Google comes and crawls your website, it doesn't actually understand the words. It basically translates these words into numbers, right? So for example, Google understands that king and queen are very, very similar, right? So for example, if you're talking about the royal family, you would probably want to mention both, and there is a number value in both, right? So for example, king might be a number value of 1.15, queen might be 1.20, right? So they're similar in the numbers. So essentially trying to NLP optimize your content, it helps Google understand what that article is about. Now, without getting too advanced on what NLP is, I would probably just use certain tools to essentially extract certain NLP content or NLP words. There's a lot of tools. There's tools such as SERP for SEO, Market Muse has their own NLP optimization library. You have got auto blogging. Auto blogging will essentially extract everybody else's NLP for you, and essentially it places it on a list, so you know exactly which NLP keywords to include in your article, right? Going back to this, so for example, best online casinos is the main keyword, but then you also have top casino sites, right? So that's an NLP keyword. So there's certain words that I know off the top of my head that I know that they are like NLP keywords. So like, for example, UK casino sites or best UK casino sites. So you've got certain variations like that. So then let's just take a look at this. Advanced structure data implementation, right? Now, basically, if we were to take a look at the Adidas Samba review, let's take a look and see if there are any websites that are using structured data. So as you can see here, you've got the stars. So Zappos is using structured data, and it pulls in the stars. Now, the reason why this is important is if, say, for example, you have review articles, or if you are a Shopify website and you have a lot of products, just by having the stars, your CTR for the page increases just that little bit more. So always just bear that in mind. Obviously, you've got run repeat here, and they have also got the review stars in the SERP. Now, very quickly, you look at some of these, it just stands out, the stars. So if you can, if it makes sense to have the review stars, definitely do it. There are different types of schema as well. So the advanced structured data, right? For example, you have FAQs, you have got recipes as well. So if we do how to cook a jacket potato, you have got a lot of, I believe it's these ones here, recipe structured data as well. So this is very website dependent. Obviously, if you're selling, let's say, shoes, you're not going to use the recipe schema. So just bear that in mind when you are doing advanced structured data. The best thing that I would probably do for this one is look at what your competitors are doing and trying to replicate that, and obviously making it better than your competitors. SERP, intent, matching, and optimization. This is a super important one, and let's see if I can actually try to do this live on this video, right? So let's do a keyword like how to replace a car, how to replace a radiator, how to replace a toilet seat, how to replace wild deodorant, how to replace watch battery, right? This one, right? So as we can see here, this is what's called like an answer summary. Now, if we were to do the snippet queue, so wiki how minus wiki how, so this basically says show me the next website that should be getting the featured snippet. Now, as you can see, there's a video here, and if we do minus youtube.com, then you've got a step-by-step guide. Now, for example, if these guys wanted to be number one, what they might consider doing is either embedding a YouTube video, because it tells you that YouTube videos is actually pretty useful for this SERP, or try to essentially answer this, instead of having the numbered list, try to essentially have it as a answer summary like this. So that is what I mean by SERP, intent, and matching optimization. Obviously, if everybody else has a numbered list and you have a video, you're going to want to swap that out. Or if everybody else has a answer summary and you don't have an answer summary, guess what? You're going to need an answer summary. LSI keywords, synonyms for depth and relevance. Now, this is a little bit similar to what I was talking about before, but for example, best online casinos and also top casino sites, that means the exact same thing. So don't always just focus on your primary keyword. Try to also rank for your secondary keywords as well. So best online casinos, top online casinos, what are the best online casinos? These are all variations that you should be trying to rank for. And then also in some cases, basically what Google does is obviously best online casinos is the main keyword. It's probably going to get the most searches, but if we were to put a number value to this, best online casinos might get 5,000 searches a month. Top online or top casino sites might get 1,000 searches a month. Now, what Google sometimes does is they will test your website, especially if it's a newer website, for your secondary keyword first. And if it provides a good user experience for the visitor, then you will start winning on your primary keywords. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes you want to focus on your secondary keywords, win those first, and then move over to the harder keywords to rank for. Then let's take a look at competitive gap analysis for content and keywords. Now, this is super important, especially if you have a brand new website. The last thing you want to be doing is just uploading articles for the sake of uploading articles. You want to be putting like a strategic plan together for your website. Now, the best way that I would be doing this is take a look at, like, let's say your top 4 or 5 competitors, run them through Ahrefs. Ahrefs on the left-hand side, it has got a content gap section. Look to see what those websites are ranking for and what you aren't ranking for. The pages that you're not ranking for, you're going to essentially want to rebuild those. Now, the one caveat to all of this is if you are comparing your website to a site like Amazon or to a site like Yelp, there's going to be a lot of missing pages, but that might not necessarily be important for your website. So try and find as much of a close competitor as you possibly can to your website. So if, say, for example, you are a plumbing business in Wyoming, go and find another plumbing business in Wyoming. Don't start comparing your website to Yelp, right? Because there's obviously going to be a massive deficit there, right? So just bear that in mind when you are looking at competitive gap analysis for content and keywords. So now let's take a look at the next one. Content clustering and pillar pages. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is just mass producing articles on your website. You want to essentially be grouping your articles together. And this is super important. So, for example, if we take a look at gambling.com, they've got best casinos, new casinos, live casinos. So they've got everything to do with casinos, right? This is like, you would look at this and think, wow, this website only talks about casinos. But then, on the other hand, they also talk about slots. Best slots, new slot games, best slot games, jackpot, da-da-da-da. Same goes with betting, right? Horse racing betting, football betting, golf, cricket, tennis, Grand National, whatever else, right? So try to essentially start clustering your keywords into subtopics. So, okay, yes, you might be a plumbing website, but are you talking about radiators, or let's say, are you talking about boiler replacement? How to service a boiler? Or have you got a cluster of topics talking about leaks? Do copper pipes leak? Do PVC pipes leak? How often should you get your pipes replaced? What to do after a pipe's been burst? Etc. etc. So try to build out your keywords like that, and obviously cluster them. Build pillar pages as well. So pillar pages is essentially like, if we go to online casinos, this is what a pillar page basically is. It's got it's basically got like all of the links. Actually, is there a better? This is kind of a pillar page. It's probably not the best example, but basically we're on the best online casinos page, but they also link to new casinos, live casinos, casino bonuses, mobile casinos. So a pillar page essentially holds all of your internal links to all of your other articles. So it's like kind of the main hub page. Next, advanced link building with semantic relevance. Now, I know I said that this was a on-page SEO checklist, but very, very quickly, if you are building links, essentially try to include semantically relevant keywords on the guest post or on the niche edit that you are looking to build for your website. So if I was looking at building a link from Forbes, for example, to this, I might mention top casino sites, or I might mention best UK casino sites. So just bear that in mind when you are doing when you are doing your link building. It's super, super important, especially going into 2024. AI generated content enhancement. So this is a very touchy subject for some people, but AI content doesn't always get it right. Sometimes you generate AI content and you're like, it's 80% of the way there. That's not to say that you should completely bin off the entire article. Just try to improve that article. There's a lot of times where I do use AI, but I use it to essentially enhance and speed up my process or my SOPs. So basically the team might extract all of my competitors' subheadings on their articles, and they might essentially try and piece together the best article that they possibly can. That's using AI. So just bear that in mind. AI isn't like it's nothing to be feared about. If anything, it should essentially speed up your process within your business. The next one, dynamic content personalization. Now, this might not be useful for everybody, but a lot of e-commerce websites do it. So for example, if you were to check out ASOS, they have essentially got two main categories. They have women's clothes and they have men's clothes. And once you're in the men's clothes, you're always in the men's section. So it's dynamically relevant to essentially my user experience. So trying to do that, it can definitely help. However, it might not be suitable for everybody. So just bear that in mind. I have included it. And again, dynamic content could also mean various things as well. So for example, let me give you a different example. If I am looking at if I'm looking at a page in Manchester, let's say I'm looking for a law firm in Manchester, and I can't seem to find one that does that serves the service that I want, right? What I would be then looking to do as the website owner is trying to internally link to other relevant law firms or other relevant locations. So for example, I might then decide to link to the other closest town in Manchester, which might be, let's say, Oldham, right? There's various different ways that you can essentially do this. Another strategy as well, and this is for a lot of e-commerce websites, is if, say, for example, you have a product, let's say you are selling green iPhone cases, and in the other relevant product section or other products, you might have light green iPhone cases. So it's just dynamically relevant to what I am actually being looked at or what I am looking at. So if, say, for example, I am looking at a green iPhone case and it's randomly linking to a black iPad case and I don't even have an iPad, it's not a good user journey, right? So just bear that in mind when you are doing any form of dynamic content personalization. EEAT, evidence and offership, right? So EEAT is essentially this kind of stuff. So this article was written by Dean Ryan. If you search up Dean Ryan, you will very quickly tell that he is a, if we do gambling, so very quickly you can see that he has got LinkedIn. He is also listed on Bookies, The Independent, Muckrack, The Org, and so on and so forth. So very quickly you can see that he is actually a real person. He's not just like a made-up persona. So just bear that in mind. You essentially want to be building out links to your offers and stuff like that. Now, your main offer, so like the written by, you definitely want to be doing that. Try and essentially get other links pointing through to the Dean Ryan page. And then also making certain that the actual the person himself that is writing it, they do have like a good user bio. Obviously, you've got his Twitter, his LinkedIn, his email, and I believe that's just like a copy of the link. There's also like a nice user bio here, like what he does at gambling.com, what he's what he likes to do away from the desk. So he likes casino and sports, which makes sense because it's a gambling website. And then you've obviously got all of the articles that he has written on the website. So that has been my on-page SEO checklist. It's quite an advanced checklist. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. And if you guys want a free 15-minute strategy call for your website, make sure to check out casualdash.com. Thanks.